The Rigveda, hymn 974, Soma Pavamana, 9 verses. Born like a youngling, he hath clamoured in the wood. When he, the red, the strong, would win the light of heaven, he comes with heavenly seed that makes the water swell. Him for wide-spreading shelter we implore with prayer, a far-extended pillar that supports the sky, the Soma stalk, filled full, moves itself every way. He shall bring both these good worlds while the right proceeds. The sage holds these who move together, and all food. Wide space hath he who follows Aditya's right path and mighty. Well-made food, meat blent with soma juice. He who from hence commands the rain, steer of the kine, leader of the floods, who helps us hence, who claim our laud. Butter and milk are drawn from animated cloud, hence Amrita is produced, center of sacrifice. Him, the most bounteous ones, ever united, love him as our friend. The men who make all swell rain down, the Soma stalk hath roared. Following with the wave, he swells with sap. For man the skin, which gods enjoy. Upon the lap of Aditya he lays the germ, by means whereof we gain children and progeny in the third region, which distills 1,000 streams. May the exhaustless ones descend with procreant power. The kindred four hath been sent downward from the heavens. Dropping with oil, they bring Amrita and sacred gifts. Soma assumes white color when he strives to gain. The bounteous Asura knows full many a precious boon. Down the steep slope, through song, he comes to sacrifice, and he will burst the water-holding cask of heaven. Yea, to the shining milk, anointed beaker, as to his goal, hath stepped the conquering courser. Pious-souled men have sent their gifts of cattle unto Kakshivant of the 100 winters. Soma, thy juice, when thou art blended with the streams, flows Pavamana through the long wool of the sheep. So cleansed by sages, O best giver of delight, grow sweet for Indra, Pavamana, for his drink. And it's important to do the rituals for the experience during the ritual. Hymn 975, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. Graciously minded he is flowing on his way to win dear names, o'er which the youthful one grows great. The mighty and far-seeing one hath mounted now the mighty Surya's car, which moves to every side. The speaker unassailable, master of this hymn, the tongue of sacrifice pours forth the pleasant meath. Within the lustrous region of the heavens, the sun makes the third secret name of mother and of sire. Sending forth flashes he hath bellowed to the jars, led by the men into the golden reservoir. The milky streams of sacrifice have sung to him. He of the triple height shines brightly through the morns, pressed by the stones with hymns and graciously inclined, illuminating both the parents, heaven and earth. He flows in ordered season, onward through the flea, a current of sweet juice, still swelling day by day. Flow onward, Soma, flow to bring prosperity, cleansed by the men, and vest thee with milky draught. What gladdening drinks thou hast, foaming exceeding strong, even with these incite Indra to give us wealth. And one of the things about this is that we have those 3 stages of development. The mother stage with those relationships and gratitude and attitude and all that. The father stage is the rules and the skills that one is trained with. And the child stage, well, you have independent morality with puberty, and as far as your means, you're responsible for what you choose with it. And are you going to continue in the path of your parents in this way or that way. You have to do your own deeds, even if you don't develop something new. Hymn 976, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. On flows the potent juice, sustainer of the heavens, the strength of gods whom men must hail with shouts of joy. The gold-hued, started like a courser by brave men, impetuously winneth splendor in the streams. He takes his weapons like a hero in his hands, fain to win light, car-borne in forays for the kine. Indu, while stimulating India's might, is urged forward and balmed by sages, skillful in their task. Soma, as thou art purified with flowing wave, exhibiting thy strength, enter thou Indra's throat. Make both worlds stream for us, as lightning doth the clouds. Mete out exhaustless powers for us. As 'twere through song, onward he flows, the king of all that sees delight. The wretch's lord hath raised the song a sacrifice, even he who is adorned with Surya's arrowy beam, father of hymns, whose wisdom is beyond our reach. Like as a bull to herds, thou flowest to the pale, bellowing as a steer upon the water's lap. So, best of cheerers, thou for Indra flowest on, that we, with thy protection, may overcome and fight. And whether people see the light, do they know that it's the light? Hymn 977, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. More beauteous than the beautiful is Indra's bolt, this Soma, rich in sweets, hath clambered in the vat. Dropping with oil, abundant streams of sacrifice flow into him like milch kine, lowing with their milk. On flows that ancient one whom hitherward from heaven sped through the region of the air, the falcon snatched, he quivering with alarm and terrified in heart before bow-armed Prithanu holdeth fast the sweet. May those first freshest drops Soma juice effuse flow on, their way to bring us mighty strength and kine, beauteous as serpents, worthy to be looked on. They, whom each sacred gift and all our prayers have pleased, may that much lauded Indu, with heart inclined to us, well knowing, fight against our enemies. He who hath brought the germ beside the strong one's seat moves onward to the widely opened stall of kine. The active potent juice of heaven is flowing on, great Varuna, whom the forward man can ne'er deceive. Mitra the holy hath been pressed for tripled times, neighing like an impatient horse amid the herd. And may our sacrifices continue to flow on past the moment that they are presented as a sacred gift. 978, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. Raising his voice, the king hath flowed upon his way. Invested with the waters, he would win the kine. The fleece retains his solid parts, as though impure, and bright and cleansed he seeks the special place of gods. Thou, Soma, art effused for Indra by the men, balmed in the wood, as wave, sage, viewer of mankind. Full many are the paths whereon thou mayest go. 1,000 bay steeds hast thou resting in the bowls. Apsaresses, who dwell in waters of the sea, sitting within, have flowed to Soma, wise of heart. They urge the master of the house upon his way, and to the eternal Pavamana pray for bliss. Soma flows on for us as winner of the kine, winner of thousands, cars, water, and light, and gold. He whom the gods have made a gladdening draught to drink, the drop most sweet to taste, wheel bringing, red of hue. Soma, As Pavamana thou, our faithful friend, making for us these real treasures, flowest on. Slayest thou the enemy, both near and far away. Grant us security and ample pasturage. And it's important to consider the presents, the offerings, as representing different things at the same time. Hymn 979, Soma Papamana. 5 verses. Spontaneous, let our drops of soma juice flow on. Pressed, golden-hued, among the gods of lofty heaven. Perish among us, they who give no gifts of food. Perish the godless, may our prayers obtain success. Forward to us the drops, distilling neath, shall flow like riches, for whose sake we urge the horses on. Beyond the crafty hindering of all mortal man, may we continually bear precious wealth away. Yea, verily, foe of hate, shown to himself is he. Yea, verity, destroyer too of other hate. As thirst subdueth in the desert, conquer thou, O Soma Pavamana. Men of evil thoughts, near kin to thee is he. Raised loftiest in the heavens, upon the earth's high ridge, thy skins have grown forth. The pressed stones chew and crunch thee on the ox's hide. Sages have milked thee with their hands into the streams. So do they hurry on thy strong and beauteous juice, O Indu, as the first ingredient of the draught. Bring low, thou Pavamana, every single foe, and be thy might shown forth as sweet and gladdening drink. Not just for the results or the substances at hand, but be glad that there are rituals that you can take part in. Hymn 980, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. On flows the stream of Soma, who beholds mankind. By everlasting law, he calls the gods from heaven. He lightens with the roaring of Brihaspati the lakes, have not contained the pourings of juice. Thou powerful Soma, thou to whom the cows have lowed, ascendest bright with sheen, thine iron-fashioned home. Thou lengthening our prince's life in high renown, flowest for Indra, as his might, to gladdening drink. Best giver of delight, he flows to Indra's throat, robbing himself in might. Auspicious one for fame, he spreads himself abroad to meet all things that he be. The vigorous tawny steed flows sporting on his way. The men, the 10 swift fingers, milk thee out for gods. Even thee, most rich in meath, with 1,000 flowing streams. Soma, who winnest thousands, driven by the men, expressed with stones, bring as thou flowest all the gods, deft-handed men with stones. The 10 swift fingers drain thee into waters. Thee, the steer enriched with sweets, thou Soma gladdening Indra. The heavenly host flowest as Pavamana like a river's wave. And we notice the simile thing going on here. That as some of these physical processes run smooth, all the much more smoother the spiritual transmission. Hymn 981, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. Onward to Indra's throat move. Beauteously adorned the waves of Soma as he purifies himself, when they brought forward with the lovely curd of kine, effused, have cheered the hero to bestow his gifts. Hither half. Soma flowed into the beakers, like a chariot horse, a stallion swift upon his way. Thus knowing both the generations, he obtains the rights and dues of gods from yonder and from hence. Well, thou art cleansed, O Soma, scatter wealth on us. Indu bestow great bounty as a liberal prince, giver of life with wisdom help to opulence. Strew not our home, possessions far away from us. Hither let Pushan Pavamana come to us. Varuna Mitra, bountiful of one accord, the Marutas, Asvins, Vayu, and Brahaspati, Savatar, Tvashtar, Traktable, Sarasvati, both heaven and earth, the all-invigorating pair, Vatar, Aditya, and Aryaman the god, Bhaga who blesses men, the spacious firmament. Let all the gods in Pavamana take delight. And in the Bible, they talk about this unknown God thing, right? Because you don't want to leave any of the divine aspects, or if you're polytheist and you believe there's different divine beings, you don't want to leave any of them out of your ritual. Hymn 982, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. Even as a king hath Soma red and tawny bowl, then pressed, the wondrous one hath bellowed to the kine. While purified he passes through the filtering fleece, to seat him, hawk-like, on the place that drops with oil. To glory goest thou, sage with disposing skill, like a groomed steed, thou rushest forward to the prize. O Soma, be thou gracious, driving off distress, thou goest, clothed in butter, to a robe of state. Parjanya is the father of the mighty bird, on mountains in earth's center hath he made his home. The waters too have flowed, the sisters to the kine. He meets the pressing stones at the beloved right. Thou givest pleasure as a wife delights her lord. Listen, O child of Padra, for to thee I speak. Amid the holy songs, go on that we may live. In time of trouble, Soma, watch thou free from blame. As to the men of old, thou camest into unharmed, to strengthen, winning hundreds, thousands. So now for new felicity flow onward. The waters follow as thy law ordaineth. And as much as divinity is omnipresent, one will experience some things in one place or one item more than another. Hymn 983, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. Spread is thy cleansing filter, Brahmanaspata its prince. Thou enterest its limbs from every side. The raw whose mass hath not been heated gangs not this. They only which are dressed, which bear attain to it. High in the seat of heaven is spread the scorcher's sieve. Its threads are standing separate, glittering with light. The swift ones favor him who purifieth this. With consciousness they stand upon the height of heaven. The foremost spotted steer hath made the morning shine, and yearning after strength sustains all things that be. By his high wisdom have the mighty sages wrought. The fathers who behold mankind laid down the germ. Gandharva verily protects his dwelling place. Wondrous he guards the generations of the gods. Lord of the snare, he takes the foeman with the snare. Those who are most devout have gained a share of meath, rich in oblations, robed in cloud. O Corapist, oblation, sacrifice the mighty seat of gods. King on thy chariot sieve, thou goest up to war, and with 1,000 weapons winnest lofty fame. Now, we can only really compete with ourselves, right? But there is such a thing as being more devout. Hymn 984, Soma Pavamana, 5 verses. Flow cheering gods most active, winner of the flood, for Indra and for Vayu and for Varuna, bestow on us today wide room with happiness, and in thine ample dwelling laud the host of heaven, he who hath come anear to creatures that have life. Immortal Soma flows onward to all of them, effecting for our aid both union and release. Indu, like Surya, follows closely after dawn. He who is poured with milk, he who within the plants hastes bringing treasure for the happiness of gods. He pours forth in a stream flows with the lightning's flash. Soma who gladdens Indra and the host of heaven. Winner of thousands, he, this Soma flows along, raising a vigorous voice that wakens with the dawn. Indu with winds, drives on the ocean of the air. He sinks within the jars, he rests in Indra's heart. The kine with milk dress him who makes the milk increase. Soma amid the songs, who finds the light of heaven. Winner of wealth, the effectual juice is flowing on, singer and sage by wisdom, dear as heaven itself. And we can say the light beings aren't of the same matter as us clay beings, or the, material world that we inhabit. But it pleases them to take part and be witnesses to rightful deeds. Hymn 985, Soma Pavamana, 12 verses. Flow on to Indra, Soma carefully effused. Let sickness stay afar together with the fiends. Let not the double tongue delight them with thy juice. Here be thy flowing drops, laden with opulence. O Pavamana, urge us forward in the fight. Thou art the vigor of the gods, the well-loved drink. Smite thou our enemies, who raise the shout of joy. Indra, drink Soma juice, and drive away our foes. Unharmed best cheerer thou, O Indu, flowest on. Thou even, thou thyself, art Indra's noblest food. Full many a wise man lifts to thee the song of praise, and hails thee with a kiss as sovereign of this world. Wondrous with 100 streams, hymned in 1,000 songs, Indu pours out for Indra his delightful meath, winning us land and waters. Flow thou hitherward, rainer of bounties, Soma, make broad way for us. Roaring within the beaker, thou art balmed with milk. Thou passest through the fleecy filter all at once, carefully cleansed and decked like a prize-winning steed. O Soma, thou hast flowed down within Indra's throat. Flow onward, sweet of flavor, for the heavenly race, for Indra sweet, whose name is easily invoked. Flow sweet for Mitra, Varuna, and Vayu, rich in meat, and viable for Brihaspati. 10 rapid fingers deck the courser in the jar. With hymns the holy singers send their voices forth. The filtering juices hasten to their eulogy. The drops that gladden find their way to Indra's heart. While thou art purified, pour on us hero strength, great, far extended shelter, spacious pasturage. Let no oppression master this our holy work. May we, O Indu, gain all opulence through thee. The steer who sees afar hath risen above the sky. The sage hath caused the lights of heaven to gain their shine. The king is passing through the filter with a roar. They drain the milk of heaven from him who looks on men. High in the vault of heaven, unceasing, honey-tongued, the loving ones drain out the mountain-haunting steer. The drop that hath grown great in waters, in the lake meath-rich, in the stream's wave, and in the cleansing sieve, the loving ones besought with many voices the eagle who had flown on earth, the bird of golden color. High to heaven's vault hath the Gandharva risen, beholding all his varied forms and figures. His ray hath shone abroad with gleaming splendor pure. He hath lighted both the worlds, the parents. And likewise, we're not of the heavens, we're not of the earth, we're something that will do what we'll do with either. Hymn 986, Soma Pavamana. 48 verses. Thy gladdening draughts, O Pavamana, urged by song, flow swiftly of themselves like sons of fleet-foot mares. The drops of Soma juice, those eagles of the heavens, most cheering, rich in meath, rest in the reservoir. As rapid chariot steeds, so turned in several ways, have thine exhilarating juices darted forth. Soma drops rich in meath, waves to the thunder-armed, to Indra, like milch kine who seek their calf with milk. Like a steed urged to battle, finder of the light, speed onward to the cloud-born reservoir of heaven. A steer that o'er the woolly surface seeks the sieve, Soma, while purified for Indra's nourishment. Fleet as swift steeds, thy drops divine, thought swift have been. O Pavamana, poured with milk into the vat. The riches have poured in continuous soma drops, ordainers who adorn thee. Friend whom riches love, O thou who seest all things sovereign as thou art and passing strong. Thy rays encompass all abodes, pervading with thy natural powers, thou flowest on. And as the whole world's lord, O Soma, thou art king, the beams of Pavamana, sent from earth and heaven, his ensigns, who is ever steadfast, travel round. When on the sea the golden hued is cleansed, he rests within the vats as one who seats himself in his place. Served with fair rites, he flows, ensign of sacrifice. Soma advances to the special place of gods. He speeds with thousand currents to the reservoir. He passes through the filter, bellowing as a bull. The sovereign dips him in the sea and in the streams, and set in rivers with the waters, wave moves on. High heaven's sustainer, at the central point of earth, raised on the fleecy surface, Pavamana stands. He on whose high decree the heavens and earth dependeth, roared and thundered like the summit of the sky. Soma flows on, obtaining Indra's friendly love, and as they purify him, settles in the jars. He, light of sacrifice, distills delicious meat, most wealthy, father and begetter of the gods, he, gladdening bestature's juice that Indra loves, enriches with mysterious treasure earth and heaven. The vigorous and far-seeing one, the Lord of heaven, flows, shouting to the beaker with his 1,000 streams. Colored like gold, he rests in seats where Mitra dwells, the steer made beautiful by rivers and by sheep. In forefront of the rivers, Pavamana speeds, in forefront of the hymn, foremost among the kine. He shares the mighty booty, the van of war, the well-armed steer is purified by worshippers. This heedful Pavamana, like a bird sent forth, hath with his wave flowed onward to the fleecy sea. O Indra, through thy wisdom, be thy thought, O sage Soma, flows bright and pure between the earth and heaven. He clad in mail that reaches heaven, the Holy One, filling the firmament, stationed amid the worlds, knowing the realm of light, hath come to us in rain. He summons to himself his own primeval sire. He who was first of all to penetrate his form, bestowed upon his race wide shelter and defence. From that high station which he hath in loftiest heaven, he comes victorious to all encounters here. Indu hath started for Indra's special place, and slights not as a friend the promise of his friend. Soma speeds onward like a youth to youthful maids, and gains the beaker by a course of 100 paths. Your songs exhilarating, tuneful, uttering praise, are come into the places where the people meet. Worshippers have exalted Soma with their hymns, and milch kine have come near to meet him with their milk. O Soma, Indu, while they cleanse thee, pour on us accumulated plentiful nutritious food, which ceaseless thrice a day shall yield us hero power, enriched with store of nourishment and strength and meat. Far-seeing Soma flows, the steer, the lord of hymns, the furtherer of day, of morning, and of heaven. Mixed with the streams, he caused the beakers to resound, and with the singer's aid they entered Indra's heart. On with the prudent singers flows the ancient sage, and guided by the men, have roared about the vats, producing Triktra's name. May he pour forth the meat that value, and that Indra may become his friends. He, being purified, hath made the morning shine. This, even this, is he who gave the rivers room. He made the 3 times 7 pour out the milky flow. Soma, the cheerer, yields whatever the heart finds sweet. Flow onward, Soma, in thine own celestial forms. Flow Indu, poured within the beaker, and sieve, sinking into the throat of Indra with a roar. Led by the men, thou madest Surya mount to heaven. Pressed out with stones, thou flowest onward to the sieve. O Indu, entering the depths of Indra's throat. Far-sighted Soma, now thou lookest on mankind. Thou didst unbar the cow stall for the Angarasas. In thee, O Soma, while thou purifiest thee, High-thoughted sages seeking favor have rejoiced. Down from the heavens the falcon brought thee hitherward, even thee, O Indu, thee whom all our hymns adorned. 7 milch kine glorify the tawny-colored one, while with his wave and wool he purifies himself. The living men, the mighty, have impelled the sage into water's lap. The place of sacrifice, Indu attaining purity, plunges through the foe, making his ways all easy for the pious man. Making the kine his mantle, he, the lovely sage, runs like a sporting courser onward through the fleece. The ceaseless watery fountains, with their 100 streams, sing, as they hasten near to him the golden-hued, him clad in robes of milk. Swift fingers beautify, on the 3rd height, and in the luminous realm of heaven. These are thy generations of celestial seed. Thou art the sovereign lord of all the world of life. This universe, O Pavamana, owns thy sway. Thou, Indu, art the first establisher of law. Thou art the sea, O sage, who bringest all to light. Under thy law are these 5 regions of the world. Thou reachest out beyond the earth, beyond the heavens. Thine are the lights, O Pavamana. Thine the sun, thou in the filter. Soma Pavamana art purified to support the region for the gods. The chief, the longing ones, have sought to hold thee fast, and all these living creatures have been turned to thee. Onward the singer travels o'er the fleecy sieve. The tawny steer hath bellowed in the wooden vats. Hymns have been sung aloud in resonant harmony, and holy songs kiss him, the child who claims our praise. He hath assumed the rays of Surya for his robe, spinning as he knows how, the triply twisted thread. He, guiding to the newest rules of holy law, comes as the woman's consort to the special place. On flows the King of rivers and the Lord of heaven. He follows with a shout the paths of holy law. The golden-hued is poured forth with his 100 streams. Wealth-bringer, lifting up his voice, while purified, fain to be cleansed, thou, Pavamana, pourest out, like wondrous Surya, through the fleece, an ample sea. Purified with the hands, pressed by the men with stones, thou speedest on to mighty booty-bringing war. Thou, Pavamana, sendest food and power in streams. Thou sittest in the beakers as a hawk on trees. For Indra poured as cheering juice to make him glad, as nearest and far-seeing bearer up of heaven. The sisters 7, the mothers, stand around the babe, the noble newborn infant, skilled in holy song. Gandharva of the floods, divine beholding men, Soma, that he may reign as king of all the world, as sovereign lord thereof. Thou passest through these worlds, O Indu, harnessing thy tawny well-winged mares. May they pour forth for thee milk and oil, rich in sweets. O Soma, let the folk abide in thy decree. O Soma, thou beholdest men from every side. O Pavamana, steer, thou wanderest through these. Pour out upon us wealth and treasure and in gold. May we have strength to live among the things that be. Winner of gold and goods and cattle, flow thee on. Set as impregnator. Indu, mid the worlds of life. Rich and brave men art thou, Soma, who winnest all these holy singers. Wait upon thee with the song. The wave of flowing meath have wakened up desires. The steer, enrobed in milk, plunges into the streams. Borne on his chariot sieve, the king hath risen to war, and with 1,000 rays hath won him high renown. Dear to all life, he sends triumphant praises forth, abundant, bringing offspring each succeeding day. From Indra crave for us, Indu, when thou art quaffed, the blessing that gives children, wealth that harbors steeds. When days begin, the strong juice, lovely golden-hued, is recognized by wisdom more and more each day. He, stirring both the races, goes between the two, the bearer of the word of men and word of gods. They balm him thoroughly, caress the mighty strength, embalm it with the meath. They seize the flying steer at the stream's breathing place. Cleansing with gold, they grasp the animal herein. Sing forth the Pavamanas skilled in holy song. The juice is flowing onward like a mighty stream. He glideth like a serpent from his ancient skin, and like a playful horse the tawny steer hath run. Dweller in floods, king foremost, he displays his might. Set among the living things as measure of days, distilling oil he flows, fair, billowy, golden-hued, borne on a car of light, sharing one home with wealth. Loosed is the heavens, support, the uplifted cheering juice, the triply mingled draught, flows around into the worlds. The holy hymns crest the stalk that claims our praise when singers have approached his beauteous robe with song. Thy streams that flow forth, rapidly collected, run over the fine fleece of the sheep as thou art cleansed. When Indu thou art balmed with milk, within the bowl thou sinkest in the jars, O Soma, when expressed. Winner of power, flow Soma, worthy of our laud, run onward to the fleece as well-beloved meath. Destroy, O Indu, all voracious Rakshasas. With brave sons in the assembly, let our speech be bold. And we have all sorts of animal and plant and stuff symbolism in here. So, the snake is clandestine. The snake is a survivor. A snake can leave behind its outer form. The eagle sees beyond the condition. The birds are not bound to the current condition the ways that the other critters are. Well, I mean, they are, but you know what I mean, the symbol.